Did you record the voices for Terramar with Michelle Krieber, Claire Margaret Corlett, and Madeline Peters?
I did.
All at the same time?
Yeah, I don't think Claire wasn't there, which was very disappointing because Claire's hilarious. Yeah, but it was all those. It was in the Cutie Mark Crusader era, so that was their whole thing.
This is all going over my head right now. Cutie Mark Crusaders?
Yeah.
Oh, like is that a band or something?
No, they're like I don't know, younger ponies that kind of got brought into the fold. That's who like Claire and Michelle were playing.
Of course, yeah, I knew that.
Yeah.
If you could play a sibling to one of the ninja, which ninja would you like to play? Sibling to?
A sibling to?
Yeah. So like Zane's brother, Cole's brother, Kai's brother. Do I need to keep going?
It might be fun to play Jay's brother because then I'd get to pitch my voice.
And be funny.
And be funny back. Yeah. Zane, Kai. You know, I feel like you'd end up being the less cool brother, whereas if you were playing Jay's brother... That's a fact.
Favorite job you've ever voice acted on?
I had the privilege of doing Zoids. I love those long shows that I get to do, that I've gotten to do with Ocean, you know, and you're working with like Carl Willems or Jack Cox, you know, some of my favorite voiceover directors in the city. Yeah. And it's just it's a treat. And, you know, you get to go in and do that.
The best part is both of them are rad.
Yeah, both of them are awesome.
Like, you get either one, you're like, this is going to be a great day.
This is going to be a good day.
You got any, like, memorable, funny moments in voice acting?
I knew Cindy Akers through a friend. You know Cindy?
Yeah, I do.
So she's a voice director, and Cindy offered, very, very generously offered to take me around to watch her direct pickups for a show called League of Super Evil. And I went in, and Scott McNeil, Colin Murdoch, and Blue Mankuma were all recording these pickups together. And I remember watching them with my jaw on the floor because I couldn't believe how hard they were working, how talented they were. Yeah. You know, and it was in that moment where I was like, oh, I really, if I'm gonna work, I better be good. Most of my warm memories
I didn't say warm memory, I said funny moments.
Oh, funny moments.
Why'd you get all sentimental on me, man?
I would say we were recording a Spider-Man thing, and Mark Oliver was playing Batroc the Leaper.
Also Lord Garmadon on Ninjago.
Yep. At the end of the episode, Spider-Man webs up his feet, and he kind of pendulums into the side of the building, right? He falls off and pendulums down to the building. So like Mark, can you give us 3 in a row? And Mark goes, yes, of course, no problem. And then he goes, ah! And he goes, Sacre bleu! And the whole room explodes, you know, and they're on the phone, can we use that? Is that cool? Like, and of course they used it because it was genius.
Really? They used that?
Yeah.
Everybody's got a good Mark story.
I mean, he's one of
He's iconic, man. He is one of a kind. I love seeing that guy. Can we expect more Dragon Prince?
I know they have a lot written for it. I know that they're planning on recording a bunch more. And those guys rule, and I think it's been a gobsmackingly well-received property.
Can you tell them that they really need to bring in Brent Miller in for Crowmaster number 2?
Well, like, somebody needs to play the Crow Lord at some point.
I'll be your sidekick.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm going to do it. I'll do it. What was your reaction when you first got told, we're going back to your first time? Yeah, you got a part on Ninjago.
There's a moment of like, yes, and you know, you kind of run around and do a lap around your apartment, and then you wait, and then you get the script, and then you see how much your character's in it, and see all the fun stuff you get to do. And, I mean, it's always special, but it's doubly special when it's something like Ninjago or My Little Pony, where you know that people are watching it and they really care about the property. Dragon Prince is another good example. Yeah. Like, people love these shows and they watch them and they really care about who's on them and what the characters are doing. Yeah. And that's a really special thing.
In the past, did you audition a lot for Ninjago?
Yeah, I feel like Ninjago's been such a constant in the Vancouver voice community that, you know, every so often, you know, you'll get another audition, and you know, you end up doing so many auditions, and you, especially around that time, I think I was still not being a great professional to myself, and I was caring a little too much about every audition and trying a little too hard, and not letting it just come to me and enjoying the process a little more. I think I've gotten better at that now.
Something you don't know. I parked my car one day, and I'm walking to the studio. I see you way ahead of me.
Mm-hmm.
You don't see me, because you're like a good half block ahead of me.
Yeah.
You're listening to music,
Yeah.
and we're going into Cosmic Studios, and you're dancing, and no one's around, and you're just singing and dancing, and I was like, he's so happy to be here right now.
Yeah.
I was like, everybody should have a little bit more of that in their life. I never talked to you about that till right now.
You know, it's the height of privilege, and it's my favorite thing in the entire world to do.
If you could give a nickname to Kataru and Benthamar, what would each of them be?
Kataru is a little more rugged, you know, a little more of an outdoorsy type. I think Benthamar is a little bit more of a book boy. Yeah, I think like Kataru, okay, if I was gonna give him a nickname, I think it'd be something cool. I think it would be like Leaf Walker or something like that, you know, something naturey.
Yeah.
And then Benthamar, I think, you know, maybe just like Latchkey Kid. You know, poor guy, he just needs to leave the house. And every time he does, his brother tries to kill him.
Pandemic gave us voice acting challenges. Obviously, what were some that you remember for yourself?
We were just in the Seabound arc, and I was having such a great time working across from Giles and watching him do his thing, and working with all the other talented cast members and watching them do their thing. That to end the Seabound arc in private, you know, in these small recording sessions, was a bummer. And
yeah, man.
Yeah.
You didn't get the full Ninjago experience.
No.
Do you like seafood?
I love seafood. Yeah. Except for squid. I can't eat squid. It makes my mouth itchy.
What's your favorite meal then?
I love eating like a lamb donair, but I only do that in private. I wouldn't eat it around anybody else. I have to take it back to my house and eat it in private, in the dark, where no one can see the horror.
I've got to obviously ask this question, but what was it like to work with Brent? I know it's laughable, right?
I think it was the Kataru episode. You were doing like a big affected voice.
Oh,
like,
the Ice Emperor.
Yeah,
stuff.
you were doing the Ice Emperor stuff. And I didn't know that was in your wheelhouse, and it was awesome to watch. It was great. Although, I was just like, that sounds like it hurts.
No, I've got a smoker's voice without smoking. If you got cast in Ninjago again, what kind of role would you like to play this time?
I mean, I would love a villain, a pompous lord, or, you know, anything that isn't like just a really sweet guy who's just trying to do the right thing, you know, for his family or whatever.
What'd you do in Barbie?
That was one of my first gigs.
That's a while back.
It was forever ago. I just remember being in the session and watching Kelly Sheridan be Barbie, and I was just like, that's crazy. Because that woman sounds like Barbie.
You also worked on My Little Pony, another hit show.
Did.
What kind of role did you have in that show?
You know, very similar to Benthamar, because his name is Terramar, and he's, you know, he's a hippogriff between worlds.
What's your dream role?
Spider-Man again.
You already got it.
Yeah, I'm just going back to the well. Well, that is a weird thing with that, where it's like that's like a resume topper for life.
I know.
I don't know how I'm gonna one up that.
Looking back at your career, is there any characters you've voiced, and now that you're more experienced and better, because we always get better, is there like, oh man, I really wish I could go back and revoice ...
There was a Fruit Ninja show. It was such a great time. I was one of the 4 leads, and it was one of the best experiences of my voiceover career. I would give anything to do more of that show with that cast again, because it was unbelievable.
Closest character you've ever played to your own personality?
I mean, I think Benthamar's up there. You know, I'm not a royalty, but you know, I act like it.
Do you eat snacks or food before or after recording the session, or do you stay away from it?
Always. I remember early on there was like a lot of discussions like, oh, you know, don't take milk in your coffee and don't do all this stuff, and I'm sure there's validity to it. I have never once heeded that advice. I you know, I'll eat a plate of barbecue wings and, you know, drink 2 coffees and then go in and record. But I always like to treat myself afterwards. After a recording session, I almost always go and find myself a beer somewhere and revel in my good fortune.
Do you like your own voice?
Yeah, it was never even a process of like coming to like it. Everyone's voices are so unique and so interesting and so nuanced, and you know, like I have little lispy things and I have little like imperfections in my voice, but that's what brings so much character to it, and I like that.